Welcome back to our second episode of what will probably be a very, very long series. And this is actually our final day of preparation before the run, I suppose, officially starts. So we'll jump right on in. Now, there's not too much going on in the prep, so I wanted to take the time to sort of cover some other aspects. And the first of which is our general money strategy for the run. And mostly that's going to involve a standard Skull Caverns run, which is rushing the Skull Caverns, using all the iridium to fund my farm, trying to get like a full 900 or so starfruit setup going on the 1st of summer, expanding that farm, and then mass producing wine, and later doing the same thing with pumpkins and pickles. And that's what we're going to do to try and get all the money we need, which is a ton of money. So I don't know, I mentioned it briefly before, but I wanted to further break down the actual costs of the whole thing, and it's expensive. Like, I need 150k alone for deluxe speed grow. I need almost like 400,000 just for the first starfruit batch, and then a 1.2 or 1.3 million for the second and third batches combined. So that plus 10 million for the golden clock, 3 million for all the obelisks, and then 300k extra for the house and things like that. I need quite a bit of money. And I actually forgot to include the cost of the coop in the barn all the way up to the top, as well as animal costs. So 15.1 million is the total I have here, but it's actually a little bit higher. So it's a good chunk of cash, and I need that pretty fast. And the money the calculations I did there were to make most of that money based on starfruit. So there is a little bit of leniency. And things like wheat cost and other crop cost is not very significant, so I don't worry about that. But basically I need like 15 to 16 million gold as soon as possible. And that alone is going to be a pretty massive challenge. And yeah, so the only thing about the money that I really need early is 440,000 by summer 1 to get the first batch of starfruit off the ground, and then my second 2 batches on the 11th and the 20th. And the 11th one is a little bit higher because I'll need more deluxe speed grow. That's really all. But that's kind of a general breakdown of how much money I actually need, as well as when I need it by. I don't need the obelisks or the clock early at all. I can get those literally on the last day, or one of the last few days, let's say. I don't want to actually miss the perfection event by getting it too late. So if I get that by, midwinter, I'd be happy. So yeah, most of the run is centered around the money. If I can get the money good, get the money good. If I can get the money quickly and efficiently, I think most of the rest of the stuff isn't too painful. There are going to be some pretty decent struggles I'll mention in a little bit here, but that's like the biggest worry we have. And for now, for the preparation phase, all we're really doing is kind of making our way towards like as deep in the mines as we can get, as much minerals as we can get, getting our skills up as much as possible, and just kind of trying to get us into a decent spot for the first of spring so that we can feel like we're getting a little bit of a head start, even if it's not too much. So we'll kind of see where we end up. And one of the biggest things that the advantage will give me is with relationships, because that's going to be one of the major challenges. And one thing that I'm not particularly good at, because I don't engage with gift giving and friendships a ton in this game. So I've had so many bad luck days. But yeah, back to the major challenges. Obviously money. Missing recipes can be a really big deal. If I miss a Wednesday or a Sunday, I pretty much end the run. So I gotta be really careful about that. Befriending Leo is another major one, just because I'll meet him so late. The special orders board, which is heavily RNG dependent, is going to be a big problem. And I'll elaborate that in a moment here. But one of the other problems is going to be my memory, and if I don't keep track of everything. So yeah, my cool brain's going to be a bit of a problem with this. And the last thing is fossils, and mostly the fossils on Ginger Island, where I need like multiple spine pieces and that kind of thing. They're super RNG dependent and very frustrating. So touching back on the special orders board real quick, I need 8 crafting recipes from that board, one of which I already have, which means 7 out of the 16 weeks of the first year I need to get the correct special order, which doesn't sound like a ton, but it's pretty crucial that I get it. And I know I've already made one mistake, and that is not completing the special order that I just already grabbed, which is the fishing up the trash and getting the fiber seeds. At least I don't think I did it. And I really wish I would have, but there's nothing I can do now. I've already played this, obviously, so I don't want to restart, but I'm just going to have to deal with that mistake and hope it doesn't really bite me. This wouldn't be the first time that fiber seeds completely ruined my run, so we'll see how that goes. Earlier we dropped off our pickaxe at Clint's, and we got our steel axe back, so we can start harvesting up our hardwood, which means eventually when we want to build a stable and we want to build the boat or repair the boat, we'll have enough wood to do so. Starting this early as possible is pretty crucial, especially like if I get that seed, which I hope I don't ignore, but yeah, getting mahogany seeds planted will be really, really beneficial, so I don't have to come down here all the time. And so little things like that will make this run that much more bearable. If this one goes well, I'll probably try it again without the extra 12 days of prep time. But this is all kind of just a big experiment, and I didn't do a ton of research. I mean, I've done like some rot. Oh goodness, I'm tired again. I've done some route planning. Obviously, I've done like I've put all the major blocks together, but I haven't like, done a lot of the gritty business, and we'll see if that bites me too, but I really hope it doesn't. And yeah, so we're finishing up this early too. This is like a pretty big head start on our oak field, I guess. Even though it's not growing now, all those seeds will start growing on spring 1st. And I usually wait pretty long to do that, so I should start a forest like up north as well, because I'm going to need a ton of kegs to get through all the wine in a like timely manner. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I got to really start thinking about that too. It's one of those things where you don't really think about all the individual pieces until you start talking about them. And then you realize how much more difficult things could actually be. Because I think I'm going to end up with something like 42 or 4,300 starfruit, which means I will end up needing enough kegs to process all that like before the end of the year, right? So I don't know what the math is going to be on that, but it's going to be a ton, and I won't be able to afford to just sell the starfruit raw, so I may have to spend a little bit of time doing more math. I was going to do it now, but every time I try and do that, I give up, and I just don't do it. And yeah. So I'm going to do a few bundles. Like I'm not really like trying to get a massive amount of bundles completed yet. I'm mostly just trying to like ideally open the minecarts, and it would be nice to have like skull caverns unlocked day 1, but it's not very likely to happen. Again, in retrospect, clay farming a bit more at the beach may have been a more advantageous, just because I still need like 42 grand for the skull caverns, and once spring hits, I won't have a very consistent source of like quick income. So we'll see. I don't really know what we're gonna do then. And then fishing, I've been largely just cutting all the fishing out. I don't know if you want me to do that or if you want to see it. I'm cool with either way. I just think it's kind of boring to watch. especially when like on the 1st of spring, it's going to be like one day per the episode. And so I don't think you're going to want to watch, like, I don't know, maybe on the 2nd or 3rd of spring, a straight up full day of fishing. This kind of take a while and it can be a little tiresome. But if people want to see it, that's fine too, you know? And I really need to organize these chests. Oh, so the other thing I have to do, and I am doing now, is preparing separate chests for all the cooking ingredients. Cooking is something that I think most people don't even really think about, aside from a few dishes. But in order to do this like efficiently, I need to keep all the ingredients either in fridges or in chests so I can just cook them all in one go. And I'll probably use a spreadsheet, or I'll find a way to keep track of that better. But it's, I don't know, cooking's going to be a challenge too. Not so much like the actual like recipe aspect, but getting all the ingredients and making sure I don't accidentally miss little tiny things that are only seasonal, you know? And so luckily I'm not into spring yet, so I can still think about the best way to do it. And there's so many resources out there. Like there's a really good Steam guide about getting the gourmet chef, oh my god, gourmet chef, god, achievement. And so I'll probably use that because it gives you a nice breakdown of what's seasonal and what's not. And that way I can get it all done early in the season and then not have to think about it. That, and I could also potentially use the greenhouse as my like last minute sort of emergency growing area if I accidentally miss a crop. And yeah, so, and these crab pots here, they're only going to be there for a little while. Crab pots are not particularly valuable, but I do need to get a lobster as well as, I don't know, a couple of the other ocean stuff. And so today, I actually lucked out today, and I had an ocean or a beach warp totem. So I was able to actually farm a little bit before going to the winter festival. Because otherwise you just get stuck waiting. You can't actually access the beach. So that's pretty cool. And I already knew who my gift person was. Like I'm talking to everybody just for the friendship points, but I used the predictor to find out who was going to be my mystery gift person so I could make sure I got a gift for them. And I don't remember who it was. And I don't even think I was able to get a loved gift for them. But I don't know, you can, I guess. Oh, I did. It was a diamond. So it's Maru. She's pretty easy. She just needs like gold, batteries, or diamonds. And so conveniently enough, I think the people who all live in the mountain are pretty high up in my friendship. So I might be able to knock out that zone all in one go. So, and I got a pink cake, which is an okay gift. It's better than a lot of other stuff, so I'll take it. And this is the first time I've gone to the winter festival in probably like 6 months, because I almost never go to those festivals unless I'm doing a very specific run, which this is. So that's why I went. And yeah, you'll just like, again, I'll just be doing a lot of clearing. I'm going to lay out the farm in a very specific way, so I kind of want everything cleared. Wood won't really be a huge issue, even though it's going to be super expensive at the start of year 2. I don't think I'll have to worry about that cost a ton. The like coal is going to be really rough, and that's probably one of my biggest regrets, is not buying a ton of coal before the end of year 1, because it gets, you know, double the price, and that's pretty rough, because coal is pretty much your biggest bottleneck when it comes to iridium farming. But I should be able to afford a lot of coal, assuming I have like some pretty strong caverns runs. And the skull caverns are another thing. I don't know how I'm going to show them yet. I don't want to show the full runs, again, because it's kind of boring. But I also don't want to cut them out completely, because that just seems kind of weird. So I might just do the thing where I cut out like the fat middle chunk, like I did with my last series. Just because there's not like, I don't know, it's not that interesting. Like, it's not a lot happens in the middle. You know, in the beginning you have like, you can set up your general strategy for how you're going to go down. And then the middle is just kind of, I don't know, running downhill, right? And then the end is when you have like a lot of chests getting popped open, a lot of iridium and things like that. So I don't know, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But for now, yeah, just cruising on relationships, and we're going to do the axe one more time. Conveniently enough, we have another terrible luck day today. At one point, I actually thought I had accidentally left a mod on that I use sometimes. I have a mod that somebody made me that makes it so every day is worse luck no matter what. And so sometimes I use that for challenge playthroughs. And I was convinced that I had accidentally left it on and ran the game in Smappy. But it wasn't that, so I don't know. Just some bad luck. I hope it doesn't like carry forward into the actual year, because that'll be kind of sad, but luck is such a fickle thing, you know. And I think I switched the crab pots over here to try and get some snails going. I need snails for cooking, and I also need snails for Vincent because he loves snails. And I'm gonna have to do a lot more thinking about that too. I have to think a lot about like what every villager likes until I get deep enough into the caverns where I'm farming a ton of prismatic shards, which is not gonna be for a little while. Maybe, hopefully by like this first spring festival, the egg festival. And then I'll just give everybody prismatic shards, except for Haley, which I'll just give her coconuts. Like, I have a pretty good grasp on what everybody likes. I might actually know what everybody's loved stuff is, which is, I guess, good and also kind of sad, but that's fine. But yeah, I just have to get more. I should probably have chests also placed outside of people's houses. That's like a next level sort of strategy for it, but for now, I think I'm still pretty set in just kind of flying by the seat of my pants a little bit. I did reset this particular day a lot. And so last episode, I started talking about resetting days and I interrupted myself and never got back to it. So I'm going to touch on it again here and actually finish the thought. But this day I reset a lot to get the right gift in the mail, because you can get different quality fertilizers and I wanted the highest quality so I could get quality parsnips as early as possible. But what I was going to say 2 days ago was that I am going to be resetting days pretty aggressively. Like, chances are each day I play of this will take more than 10 attempts each time, just because I'm going to really need things to go right, especially early on, in order to get the snowball effect to roll properly, you know what I mean? And I got my chickens also. I grabbed 2 chickens so I can have large eggs as early as possible. And hopefully I'll start upgrading the barns or the coop soon. And then I'll really need a barn as early as possible too. Like, ideally a lot of stuff would be finished by midsummer, probably, is a good goal. And that way I can get my greenhouse going, get a little bit of extra income from that, and then not have to worry about animals at all. So I can just delete all the barn, delete the coop and all that, or use it as keg storage. Again, that's another one of those bridges we'll cross. I also have a mushroom tree. I don't think I mentioned that before, but that little stump that I keep leaving is a mushroom tree. And I'm leaving that because I can put a tapper on it and get a couple different types of mushrooms from it, which I'll use for the community center. And then after that, I'll probably cut it down. That's like the one benefit of sleeping for a year, is you get a lot of cool little things like that you may normally never get in a run, like mushroom trees. And I skipped that event back there. I'm not sure if that was a bad idea or not. Sometimes events give you like friendship points with people, but sometimes they just don't do anything. So normally I just skip them. But in this run I might actually have to play through them. I probably won't include that. I'm not really big on like watching the events and like reading out what happens. but I don't know, maybe I'll leave it in. Flowers, I think for the most part, flowers are a really safe gift for everybody. And especially because you can get high quality ones from foraging. So I'll keep flowers a lot. And that'll be one of my main sources of early gifts before I can actually start buying the love stuff. And I cut out all this fishing too. I don't know, hopefully I didn't catch the legendary fish today. That's I feel like that's something you probably want to leave in, but I don't know if I did or not. I wish I could see. Either way, if I didn't get it yet, I can get it next winter. Fishing is... I get really burnt on fishing pretty fast just because I do it so much in the early game. And so that's mostly why I'm trying to get it done now. The sooner the better for me. I like doing catfish are fun because it's kind of challenging to catch them. But everything else is a little, I don't know. Octopus, I guess, is fun because that one's really hard too. That might be one of the hardest parts of the run is getting the octopus. Legend, I don't think will be that bad. Legend is hard, but I did catch the glacier fish. Legend is hard, but you can reset it so much, so easily, that it's not that big of a deal. And sometimes you just get really easy legend patterns. So if you try to catch legend and it's super hard, just reset your day and try again. And chances are you'll get an easier pattern. And it'll be, I don't know, it'll just go by a lot better. I've caught legend enough times that I'm not too worried about that. I just need it to rain. And I'm sure it'll rain at some point. I know, like I said before, Spring 3 is not guaranteed to rain in the second year, but it's still possible to get it early, so. Oh hey, I got really good luck. Sounds good. And I remembered to get the recipe. I hope I remembered on Wednesday. Because if I didn't, that's kind of the end of the run. And it's kind of unbelievable that might be what kills the run. Just forgetting to watch TV, but it is highly possible. So I may end up having to save a backup every week that I know I didn't miss the recipes, And that way, if I do find out I did miss a recipe, I can just save scum my way back. I don't really want to do that, but it might be the only way to avoid a really frustrating premature end to a run, Oh, we'll see. I don't know. Again, I'm always open for suggestions. If you don't want me to do that, I won't do it. Or whatever, I'm at least listening down to listen. And at some point, pretty early on, I'll have to carve out a day to farm dust sprites over and over again. Because I really want that burglar's ring early on. That's going to be a pretty massive advantage. Oh, and so right now, I'm rushing to get a fire crystal. What is that? That's not what it's called. A fire quartz. And if I can get that, I can go to the community center, drop it off, and by spring 1, I'll have my minecarts open. And so I think that was the last thing I need. And I'm in good shape to just get it all done. I also got a coffee bean, which is pretty cool, because now I can grow coffee starting day 1 and I won't have to buy it, which means I can gift Harvey really early or really easily and also have some extra speed boost until I get enough rubies saved up for coffee at the Desert Trader. And yeah, I'll get back into that more as it comes. I wanted to be a little bit better in this run about setting up our daily and weekly goals. I decided to change the style of how I write the goals out. I might change it again. I can't decide if I like it, but I don't know. I want to try and be better about that. I think it's more interesting to watch when I have a set list of here's what I'm going to do today. And then and if you don't feel like watching the video, but you're curious about what I was going to do, you can just watch and see, oh, that's what he wanted to do. Or if you ever want to refer back and try the same thing, it's a little bit easier of a reference. So I'll probably do that. But yeah, we got our minecarts. That was a major goal. In next episode, I do want to do a recap just so you can fully see how much of an advantage these 12 days brought me. And that way we kind of go in with the same understanding of where we're at, what needs to get done, and if we were to do this again without those 12 days, how much further behind we would be, I guess. So that's what we'll do. Again, next episode is going to be the recap and the first day of spring. I am going to start out really slow again, because I think that's kind of the way to ease into it. Everything, like, so much happens early on. Oh, did we get Skull Caverns already unlocked? Now we're a little shy. That sucks. We're shy by $500. Dang, okay. Well, that's not bad. Anyway, I don't know what I was saying. I was just saying that, oh yeah, things start out like really heavy. So the episodes will start out a little bit slower, less days at a time. And as I start doing more repetitive tasks, then you'll see episodes condensing a little bit. So that's what we're up to. Got our little Junimos working on our mine carts. We'll try to get into those caverns as soon as possible. We already got Miner, which is huge for farming purposes. And there's the money we need for Skull Caverns. So we just need to get to the bottom of the mines and we can go. So, I don't know, I'm looking forward to this run. I think it'll be a lot of fun. And I'm also really looking forward to hear what you guys think about it. And I read all the comments and I try to respond, so feel free to leave one and I'll definitely read it. And I'll see you next time.